Hi, my name is Skyy Hilbun. I am a senior psych major, and my presentation today is over the effects of childhood abuse can have on parenting styles. What is a parenting style? Theorists generally agree that parenting styles greatly impact a child's development. These parenting styles are met through a combination of a parent's level of responsiveness to a child's needs and one's need for control over the child's behavior. The most theorized upon parenting styles are authoritarian, permissive, and authoritative. The different parenting styles are made through a combination of the level of emotional support the parent has for the child and the control that the parent exhibits while parenting. I'm going to go into more depth of each of these different types of parenting styles. The authoritarian style of parenting is made up of low levels of emotional support and elevated levels of control over the child. This style of parenting is characterized by strict standards on the child that are often enforced physically. These parents expect their child to follow the rules without any questions. The permissive style of parenting is made up of good emotional support with little to no control for the child. These parents often make little to no effort to control or discipline the child. They allow their children to make their own rules and are accepting of their child's desires and impulses without any questions asked. Parents of this style do not intervene in the child's choices often until the child comes to them and asks them for guidance. Within the authoritative style of parenting, the parents set clear goals and standards for the child and have reasonable expectations. These parents firmly enforce the rules but allow their children to express themselves and allow activities that encourage this behavior. These parents see importance in the child's individual rights and encourage them to openly communicate and they allow for some degree of negotiation. These parents also discipline their children in a way in that they explain the rules and the consequences for breaking the rules. The impacts of childhood abuse often follow the child later in life. These problems include depression, anxiety disorders, addiction, eating disorders, personality disorders, and many other physical health problems. These studies also outline potential lifelong impacts of childhood abuse and trauma. With all these different parenting styles, all childhoods are not the same. They're often very different. In childhood, a safe, stable, and nurturing relationship and environment are essential. Adverse childhood experiences have been associated with risky behaviors, and coming from a low SES makes the child twice as likely as high SES children to experience 3 or more adverse experiences in childhood. As unfortunate as it is, the rate of abuse around the country is still pretty high. The rate of abuse in America has gone down, but is still at 14% for duplicate victims and 9% for unique victims. With these statistics in mind, it is important to see the impacts of abuse later in life that could possibly have on parenting styles. Like I said, childhood abuse is still prevalent throughout the world, and this is true for different demographics. This graph looked for trends in demographics of people and child abuse. This graph shows an increased rate of child maltreatment in non-Hispanic Black-only homes and in non-Hispanic Indian, Alaskan, Native-only homes. When childhood abuse victims seek treatment later in life, it often comes with a set of challenges. The negative impact of childhood trauma can often be debilitating and very hard to treat. Childhood trauma can have detrimental effects on emotion, behavioral, cognitive, and social functioning of the child, and these effects can continue to impact the person into adulthood. This impact can be both negative and positive depending the severity, and it also differs from person to person. Some studies also show that childhood abuse may play a role in developing many cognitive disorders. Generally speaking, theorists agree that people tend to make assumptions about the world and about the people around them and themselves based on childhood learning. With this in mind, it is easy to see the connection between childhood abuse and trauma and disruptions or cognitive disorders in the adult life. Overall, this project had a lot of challenges, but it was a really enjoyable learning experience. I conducted a survey along with this literary review, and the results are still pending due to the overwhelming amount of respondents that I received. I really enjoyed the research process and this study in general. It allowed me to dip my toe into the world of research before I complete my degree. Overall, what I hope that you got from this literary review and my research is a better understanding of the negative impacts childhood abuse can have later in life. I'm Skyy Hilbun, and this has been the Student Showcase.